so funny about peace, love, and understanding. Oh! Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. And there's a very interesting story over at the Las Vegas Review-Journal. In fact, it's the lead story. I happen to just kind of poke my head over there to see what's going on. It's going to check out, look for videos, but, you know, body cam stuff. And this was the lead story. Felon caught with guns in Mandalay Bay room 3 years before Las Vegas shooting. And I must say, I've read the article and I've looked a little bit further into the person they're talking about, you know, history, just Google search and all that. That headline, if you ask me, is fairly generous to the Mandalay Bay, you know. So, this came to light because of one of the ongoing lawsuits. There's many going on where different attorneys are representing different victims of the shooting. This one, I believe, is a local attorney in Las Vegas. I think I've seen him on television. Englet is his name, and he's mentioned in this article throughout. So apparently, on June 29th, the Mandalay Bay and MGM Resorts filed a motion to dismiss this case. And the reason for the dismissal was the Mandalay Bay, MGM Resorts and Mandalay Bay argued the defendants didn't owe a duty to prevent the gunman's unanticipated and unforeseeable violence. You know, and this is in reference to, they're saying they couldn't have anticipated, you know, Paddock, you know, doing this. So, but the plaintiff for the one of the victims, some of the victims of the Las Vegas shooting, and they were arguing to have this case moved back to county court from federal court. I don't fully understand it, but he basically argued that, you know, I think he brought this up in response to this previous case where some other person had a small arsenal in the Mandalay Bay at the end of 2014 in November, you know, and was found with these guns, you know, there. And one of them, it's, I'll go to the case here. One of them, they're semi-automatic rifles, semi-automatic handguns, multiple ones. And one, a long rifle with a scope, according to his you know, the case, the legal documents, at the window, pointing out of the Mandalay Bay window at the Las Vegas Strip with a scope on it. I don't know if I said that. Okay, and here is his plea agreement of September 9th, 2017, and then he was sentenced in January of 2016. You know, it's interesting. Let me come back. Let me just summarize what's going on in this Las Vegas Review-Journal article. I pretty much did right there. So it says this came to light Thursday in a lawsuit filed February 16th in Clark County District Court accusing Mandalay Bay and MGM Resorts International of negligence in connection with the October one mass shooting. That night, right, we know that. Okay, in a motion to dismiss the case filed June 29th, attorneys representing MGM Resorts and Mandalay Bay argued, I already told you that, shoot. So plaintiffs in the civil lawsuit asked that the case be moved back to county court. They filed a procedural motion Thursday to ask for more time to respond to the motion for dismissal, in part because they had learned of DUNBAR's case. DUNBAR is the individual, you know, that was found with the small arsenal in his Mandalay Bay room on the 24th floor at the end of 2014. Him and his wife, and I believe his sister-in-law too, and his wife pleaded to something as well. Maybe not in that case, actually, because they were in a previous case immediately prior to that, you know, a crime that actually took place immediately prior to that November date, from March 2014 up to October 22nd of 2014, of defrauding some company in Bakersfield where I believe his wife worked, and they had created this fictitious company, and they were falsely invoicing a trucking company, falsely invoicing the company and defrauding them out of like $230,000. In that time span, immediately preceding this November incident in the Mandalay Bay, which begs to reason, is that the motive? I mean, why did he have a small arsenal with a gun pointing, you know, at the window, pointing out the window at the Las Vegas Strip, November 2014? The DUNBAR guy, okay? And he's pled guilty to possession of firearms, whatever. You know, he pled it down, I suppose, and so forth. Okay, so And just so, and it says right here, Dunbar was caught because a housekeeper found the weapons the morning of November 19th, 2014, after entering the room registered to Dunbar's wife. Some of these, I mean, some of these things are eerily, eerily similar. I think there's some coincidences going on, but I'm not so sure. And, I don't know how much of this is public record. In this case here where it's the plea agreement, and there's got to be other public records, like on the system, on the county system and stuff like that, where you can search court documents. But I'm just saying, I don't know how much of this is, searchable. Messing this up. Let me keep going. So Dunbar, but that's pretty crazy. Dunbar and his attorney, because Paddock registered his room to not his wife, but Mary Lou, at least for portions of his stay there. Reminds me of the, the housekeeper and Paddock story. And it says over at CNN, this is from the police reports, I'm fairly certain, one of the last people to see Paddock was a housekeeper who cleaned his suite about 4 days before the massacre. Paddock stayed in the room, which was mostly clean, except the bed and the bathrooms, and spent much of his time on his computer, eating room service soup, she said. There was no trash in his wastebaskets, she told investigators. At first, she didn't mind him being there, but she grew uneasy. He kept staring at me, she said. Over at another news outlet, similar, she says Paddock was working on his laptop and eating soup from room service. While she was in the room, she never saw his screen. He kept on staring at me, she says the housekeeper, who found it odd that he had more than 5 pieces of luggage in the room. Paddock killed 58 people when he opened fire on concert goers from the suite. I'm saying, was Paddock aware of this previous incident that the housekeeper found, had discovered that previously? That could be a stretch. Could be a stretch. It's strange, though. The similarities are pretty odd. Let me continue. Dunbar and his attorney argued he was going to use weapons for target shooting with his wife and sister-in-law, but federal investigators disagreed. Quote, he had apparently positioned a scoped rifle so that it was pointed out of his hotel room at the Mandalay Bay, in the Mandalay Bay, and towards the Las Vegas Strip, end quote, the document said. And Dunbar's attorney argued the rifle was lying on the floor, a document indicates, Among the 6 guns found in the room were 2 semi-automatic rifles, 2 semi-automatic pistols, a revolver, and a bolt-action rifle, according to documents. Authorities found a homemade silencer in Dunbar's room, and they accused him of building one of the guns himself. Okay, man, it's pretty, Okay, so a federal jury indicted Dunbar in 2014. Like I said, he pled unlawful possession of firearms by a felon. The document said pleaded guilty to the count in September 2015. In January 2016, he was sentenced to 40 months in prison. And, all the law enforcement agencies were involved in this. Investigation involved the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, Department of Homeland Security, the ATF, and the FBI. All right, here's the attorney of the victims in the Las Vegas shooting, October 1st. A Las Vegas attorney representing the plaintiffs, Robert Anglin, said the plaintiffs learned, I don't know who that is. That could be the Texas attorney. I'm really not sure. Said the plaintiffs learned of Dunbar's case in the past few weeks, a discovery he called significant to the lawsuit. Anglin called the attempt to dismiss the lawsuit an effort to conceal Dunbar's case from the public. Okay, and here's the actual case, and it actually lists the the guns right there, the exact models: caliber semi-automatic rifle, caliber revolver, caliber semi-automatic rifle, caliber semi-automatic pistol, semi-automatic pistol, caliber bolt-action rifle, any and all rounds of ammunition, etc., etc. This is that what I was discussing before. He was found guilty, and I don't know the particulars of he pled guilty to something. It was fraud of some kind, and again that spanned from March 2014 to October 22nd. I mean, he wasn't found out about this until later, but that's when it occurred. It occurred immediately before. I don't know that really has any any bearing on this really, but just so you know what I'm talking about, Kai Aaron Dunbar. That's the same dude. I mean, this is Kai Aaron Dunbar. All right, there's no two Kai Aaron Dunbars. So of Bakersfield, and of Bakers was sentenced today by U.S. District Court. When is this? So this is June 26, 2017, where they're reporting on the sentencing of that crime. In any event, hopefully you're following me because I really don't want to have to redo this. This is just another outlet reporting the same thing the Las Vegas Review-Journal is reporting, similar information. One of the 6 weapons found inside Kai Aaron Dunbar's 24th floor hotel room in November 2014 was a scope rifle pointing towards the Strip, court documents say. You know, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. You know my theory. You know that I believe Paddock was trying to get back at the hotels. I think even in one of my earlier videos, I had said he intentionally brought up tons of guns just to rub it in the faces of the Mandalay Bay to show how easy it was to bring up so much weapons, and so it would just look so bad, you know. And you know, it's funny to me. I was just looking at this, and I searched this document, this one document. It's a court document of some kind where it's his plea agreement or something, you know. And you can't. There is no mention of Mandalay Bay in the court document, nor is there any mention of MGM. Somewhere, I don't know. I'm not sure. So, you know, because I was just wondering, did he search for something like this? You know, and I don't know, which would be, but then it occurred to me, you know, for somebody who spent, you know, 10, 14 hours a day in the casino, right, with extensive interaction with staff. I mean, when you watch the videos of him bringing in the bags, he's talking with the staff, and, you know, he knows a lot of those people. That's why he's using the service elevator. You know, when you spend that kind of time, it's your workplace. It's even more than your workplace, and you're living there too for extended stays, being comped. You learn a lot, you know. And I wonder if he hadn't heard from employees in the hotel. You know, everybody knows about these things in the hotel. When these things happen, the word spreads, man. You know, this is what you talk about. I mean, these things are exciting in your workday. When something like this happens, I wonder if he didn't know about this. You know, just because he was a mainstay. He worked there nonstop, lived there. I wonder if he wasn't aware of this. You know, because some of the details are so, you know, it's almost like it's, you know. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. Sorry for the jumbled, you know, stuff, but I got to roll, man. Later.